Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Yellow Jama, and welcome back to another deck profile. I know I've been doing a lot of deck profiles lately, forgive me for that, but it just seems to be the easiest thing to be getting started with while I prep other content, and it also appears to be one of the more viewed type of videos on the YugiTube side of YouTube. So that's why I'm sticking with these right now, and again, it's just kind of like the easiest thing for me to get this into. Pretty easy to sit down, record real quick, and I can have a few stockpiled. But if you guys want me to do some other stuff, again, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to do as many of your suggestions as possible. But if I'm not able to, then please forgive me, because again, I'm just starting off with this, so it's going to be a little tricky to get started with things. But anyways, you guys are here for the deck profile, not to hear me ramble on. So let's get on and get into it. This deck is known as the Furry Agenda, as it is, well, furries. We start off the deck with 3 Raphael, however you want to say it, the champion for a hire. For whatever reason, Konami decided to get really obsessive with the puns in this deck. So these are not for hire monsters; these are monsters for hire. The entire deck revolves around that singular joke. Forgive me for the camera shaky there. But Raphael is the boss monster of your main deck here. This deck used to really suck before Lynx and before they got their Link monster Fulgo. But this is your main boss monster here with 2,800 attack points. If this card is special summoned, you can look at the top cards of your deck, equal a number of monsters for hire you control with different names, except for himself. And if you do, you get to add one of them, and then you shuffle the rest back in the deck. So that means you can add literally any card. You can reveal a bunch of Fur Hire cards and a Monster Reborn, and you can add the Monster Reborn, which is really nice. And then he has a Monster Negate by discarding 1 card for hire. Unfortunately, it does not destroy, which I think kind of really sucks. But you do typically want to either blind second or go first, and you kind of just go for a certain combo, which I will explain later. But Raphael, probably the best monster you got in the deck, in main deck anyways. Next up, we got 2 Wiz, the Sage for hire. This one is not as good as Raphael because of the fact of it only having 1,600 attack points, but if it's special summon, you gain 500 life for each monster for hire you control with a different name, except for itself. And when your opponent activates a spell or trap, you can discard a card for hire to negate it. Again, it doesn't destroy. I don't know why they didn't give them the destruction effect. They really should have. It would have made them a lot better, in my opinion. Not that you can make for hires good, really, but I do think that this build is probably one of the better. And just having the destruction on top of the negating would have been really good. We play 1 Dyna hero for hire. When it's special summon, you can banish cards from your opponent's graveyard up to the number of for hire monsters you control with different names. He actually includes himself, which is interesting. Yeah, which is really interesting. So like if you just special summon him with something, you get to banish 1, which is really weird that he's the only one like that. And monsters, your opponent monsters can only target this card, or they cannot target other monsters for hire you control for attacks except for this one. Apparently in Duel Links, this used to be like meta, apparently, because you would just summon 2 of him and then your opponent can't attack, and it's a 2,500 beat stick. So it was kind of difficult to deal with in Duel Links, I guess. Next up, you play 3 Beat for hire. Also, guys, one important thing to mention about this, I forgot to at the start of the video, is the majority of these are different attributes and different types. There are a few that are repeats, but for the most part, they all have different attributes and types. So you can play some certain floodgates when it comes to that. But next up, we got Beat the Bladesman for hire. This is the primary normal summon you want. And from this point onward, all the for hire monsters share the same effect of, during the main phase, you can special summon 1 monster for hire from your hand, except for the monster you're using the effect of. And then Beat has the effect of, if a for hire monster is special summoned from your hand, is special summoned to your field, while you control this card, you can add a for hire monster from your deck to your hand, and you can only use the effect of Beat once per turn. Nice thing is that Beat was made a warrior, so he's searchable with Rhoda. Next up, we got Bravo, a fighter for hire, who is a reptile. Shares the same first effect, we special for hire from hand. If a fur hire is special summoned to your field while you control this card, all fur hire monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense until the end of this turn. For the most part, you don't really care actually about the fur hire monsters, funny enough. You just spam the field with them to just link. This is a really, really good one, actually. Philo, the messenger for hire, winged beast, shares the same effect as the others. If a fur hire monster is special to your field while you control this monster, you can target a fur hire in your graveyard and special summon defense, but it goes to the bottom. But it goes to the bottom of your deck when it leaves the field. So it's just good for a little bit of recursion, and the fact that it is a winged beast wind is actually really, really useful for something that I will show you later on. Then we play 2 Recon Scouts. Shares the same effect as the others. This one is a beast. If a fur hire monster is special to your field while you control this, you can target a set card on the field and destroy it. There's not really too much to talk about with these guys because they have very, very basic effects. Shares the same first effects as the others. This one is also a beast. When a fur hire monster is special while you control this card, you get to pop a face-up card on the field. And again, those being wins do play a part into a combo that I'll talk about in a minute. Then we play 1 Seal, just for having another fur hire monster for special summoning. Shares the same effect, and he is the effect of a monster for hire is special to your field while you control this card. Target a fur hire in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. Not as good as Philo, but still a decent one of. And the last fur hire monster we have in the main deck is Helmer. Dear God, I do not like Helmer, but you play her anyways. It's not so much of a effect being so bad, I just don't really like how she looks, is the only thing. She's just a really weird looking fish. But she is an aqua, and shares the same effect as the others. If a fur hire is special to your field while you control this card, you can discard 1 card for hire and draw 1 card. I really think it should have been you can discard any card to draw a card, but it doesn't really matter too much. You'll almost always have a card in your hand to discard. For hand traps, I just play 2 Ash Blossom. It's just a really good hand trap. This is one of the attacks that we play in, is the Mist Valley Apex Avion, which once per chain, when a card is activated, you can bounce this. Basically, you bounce this to your hand to negate. Yeah, to negate and destroy it. So it's just a little bit more negation. I play 1 Perform Mage Hat Trigger just because you get 2 on the field. You can specialist from your hand, and it's level 4, so you can make some rank 4 plays if you need to. You can easily bump this up to 2 if you want to cut something like Seal or Helmer. You play 3 Mayhem for hire. This is their in-archetype quick play Monster Reborn. Only downside I would say to this card is that I have 2 things I'm bouncing between. I'm sorry. Is that it special summons them in defense, and then it's a once per turn. I do think they could have easily have made this not a once per turn and allowed you to summon in any position. Because as you guys may have seen from the last video, or maybe in the video before, of when I was playing against my friend who is using Glad Beasts. Glad Beasts have a card that is not once per turn that lets you summon the Glad Beasts in any position and then makes them immune to battle. I don't know why they couldn't have given the same thing to fur hires. Even if it was a quick play. Even if they made it not a quick play, it still would have been really, really good. Difference is, you can't search this, because Beat only searches monsters, this being a spell. Come Back and Glad Beast can be searched by anything that searches Glad Beast cards. You play 1 Reasoning, because you just have a multitude of different levels. You have level 8s, level 7s, level 6, level 3s, level 1s, level 2s, just all over the place. So your opponent, most of the time, you will be able to land something with this. Play 1 Instant Fusion. Just pay 1,000, get a monster for free from Falgo, basically. 1 Mind Control. You can easily put this in the side deck for something else if you want to, but I main it because, again, I typically blind second. 1 Rhoda, just because you want to search the Beat. 1 Call by the Grave, because it's at 1. one Upstart Goblin, because 39 card deck instead of 40 basically. Then play 3 back to the front. You do play this because typically you won't kill. What you'll typically do is you'll be able to wipe out your opponent's board, and then you just gotta wait till the next turn. Which is the big thing this deck lacks, is it's not able to OTK very easily. But if you go first, you can set up a infinite negate. So this is useful also because you can bring back your Avel during your opponent's turn to to add a card. If you have because if you have beat, then you get to look at the top card and add, and then you also get a search off beat or whatever else you have. Or if you also have Folgo, then you get to look at top 2. And then you play 2, there can be only 1, because again, a majority of your monsters are all different types. So this works really well because each player can control 1 type of monster. So it really just locks down your opponent more than it hurts you. The only thing to watch out is when it comes to your extra deck. And then of course 1 red reboot. I play this in most of my decks because I just am really sick of Imperm, and yeah, just a way to get around Imperm. Again, you could side that if you want to, but I main it. Play 1 Linkuriboh for the extra deck. You play 1 Linkuriboh for Philo, just to get a different typing for Folgo, because Folgo requires different types. So if you somehow end up having 2 Winged Beasts, you can link off the Philo into this. Play Nightmare Phoenix and a Nightmare Cerberus. Good cards. Both of them have the effect you discard a card. Phoenix will pop a spell trap. Cerberus pop a monster, which is really nice. Play 1 Folgo. You can play 2 if you want to, but I think 1 is better, just because of the fact that he can't use his link material, which really, really sucks, because this deck does actually have the ability to extra link if Folgo didn't have that restriction of not being able to use as link material. It is actually incredibly possible to extra link with this deck if that was the case. But Folgo has a nice little effect of when it's link summoned, you can special summon 1 monster for hire with a different type from the 3 monsters used for the link summon of this card. You can summon it from your deck. In defense, if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw 1 card. Then if you control 3 or more monsters for hire with different names, you get to draw 2 additional cards. So this is really, really nice, because if you're going second and you use Scout or Recon to pop something, you're going to have this on field, whatever you summon from the deck, and then if you get you just need 1 more on field. So if you summon a Scout or Recon, use the effect, a special, anything really, you can pop, and then cool, you have 3. Folgo, draw 3 cards. 1 Trigate Wizard, just because you can get it where you can do, or you can banish a card in the field, and you can get the piercing damage, which is really, really nice. 1 Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty. This is really, really good. Since you need a Winged Beast, that's why Philo is so good, because it allows you to make this, and then during your end phase, you summon out your biggest burb in the deck, the Mist Valley Apex Avian, to give you the spell trap negate, and then during the opponent's end phase, you get to bring it back out, so you negate on your turn, which is just really, really nice. 1 Skuldred, just so you can dig through your deck a little bit more and get some more extenders, because then you can special summon 1 from your hand and continue using the effects. Borrelsword, help you get some more OTK in. 1 The Arrival Cybers at Ignister. This is a really, really good card for the deck, because it takes 3 monsters with different attributes, and that's not too hard to do. Now that I'm not entirely sure if that means they all have to have different attributes, or if you can use 2 dark, 2, if you could do 2 dark, 2 light, 2 wind. I'm not entirely sure, but you can basically just go into this after doing some link plays. Or if you make your Skuldred and then you've used it to where you don't need it anymore and you have 2 other monsters in the field, you can then just make this and it'll have 3,000 attack, and it's unaffected by other card effects, which is really, really nice. And then you can target a monster on the field, destroy it, and then special summon a token, which you can then use the token for Linkuriboh or other stuff. 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. It is known to be cloaked in darkness and relentless in its objective. So it's really nice just the fact of cutting the opponent's monster attack in half, and then this getting that, because you combo this with a Borrelsword, it can just lead to massive, massive damage. Tornado Dragon for popping back row. Trigger Folgo during the opponent's turn, and then do it again during your turn. Play Utopia Lightning, just because allows you to beat over stuff. 1 Plan B, number 41. Just because in case your hand is not good enough to do something, you make the Plan B and you just kind of sit on it. And then the instant fusion target, the Thousand Eyes Restrict. Now, the one thing I do want to say about guys regarding our Smorg Bird of Sovereignty, I did talk about this, the Infinite Negate and the Mist Valley Apex Avian. Like I said, you could probably switch out a few things, such as like the Red Reboot into your side deck, to play the Thunderbird, and then you play a Union Hanger, or not Union Hanger, Union Carrier, the Link 2 monster, because you can very easily make it where you have this and the Union Carrier, then you summon this and Union Carrier put on here, and then you constantly bounce the Thunderbird, summon Thunderbird, bounce, summon, all that, and you just set up the Infinite Negate. But I don't play that in the current build that I have with me. But it is most definitely an option, and a rather good option at that. And it is rather consistent to pull off. But that is it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't really have much to say. It's fur hires, it's the furry agenda, and yeah, not much to say about the deck. You just link spam and pray your opponent doesn't negate your first summon or effect. Otherwise, you kind of just lose. There is the new card out called, I think it's New Style for Hire, which basically you get to target a fur hire you control, bounce out of the hand, or you put it in the deck, and then you summon a new one from the deck that's 1 level higher or lower. Or it might just be one monster that you spin back, and then you summon a fur hire. But that's nice because it dodges stuff being Effect Veiler and Imperm, and then it just gets you another fur hire out, which is nice. But that is one thing to worry about with the deck, is if your first summon gets stopped, you're kind of screwed. Later on through your combo, you can play through some disruption, but you just really need your first play to get going. But anyways, that's this deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.